products over 15 years ago, so I guess Amazon existed but wasn't what it is today. So they've been there for the whole ride and seen all the mistakes that can be made, and they will share some of those with us now. So, okay? Welcome.
Okay? Yep. See us? Usually I'm standing on a box. As long as you can see us. See, I don't even hit this. So does anyone know what this is?
Nobody knows. No. Recognize it all?
Apple slice.
Close.
No? Anyone else? How about the women out there? I'm going to pick on you guys. There's not many of you. Anyone know what that is? Paperweight? No? Really? Okay, well, cast your eyes on this. This is a veggie spiral cutter. What is that, right? You stick, say, a zucchini in this contraption, and you crank it, and it comes out looking like spaghetti. Pretty awesome, right? Well, this is a really, really hot item selling on Amazon. Actually, one of our clients. And it's a great, innovative way to get your husband to eat their vegetables. And if you have kids, if you have kids, a great way for your kids to eat their vegetables. And like I said, this is a really hot item that one of our clients is selling on Amazon and doing really well. And I'd like you to meet her. Her name is Stacy. Now, because of the industry, we're keeping Stacy's identity private. But she did allow us to talk about her product, the veggie spiral cutter. And as I mentioned, she sells on Amazon. She does, or she did, about $20,000 a month, selling about 1,300 of these products. And they sell for about $15. And this is an awesome product, very popular. You're all going to leave here, and I promise you, go onto Amazon and Google this, or look for this, search for this. Go onto Google, search for this. It's an awesome product. So Stacy came to us, and she wanted to have more sales because she knew it was doing really well on Amazon, and she knew that she could do a lot more with her product. So she joined our one-on-one coaching, and we literally just taught her a little differently, how to source differently, how to import differently, how to find efficient manufacturers, and how to get into the retail chain stores.
And now we see Stacy today and how excited she is. She still sells on Amazon, but we've introduced her to many other ways and opportunities to get her products into many other consumers' hands. And we open the doors to just different ideas to really expand her sales and products. Now her sales are $92,000 a month, $72,000 more than she did in previous months. That's pretty great for doing sales, and it was just a matter of thinking outside the box. So what could you do with an extra $72,000 a month? People are leaving money on the table. Could you think of what you can do with extra $72,000? I know what I can think of. We obviously know what Carrie can think of. She's going to go to one of her favorite stores, and that's what she likes. So why leave money sitting on the table when the opportunity is there?
Yeah, I definitely know what I could do with an extra $72,000 a month. So how many of you right now are selling outside of Amazon? On eBay or Shopify? Okay. Actually, put your hands up again. Okay, so a fair amount.
And how many of you are selling to retailers, or selling in the retail industry? Fantastic. We've got a few here.
Okay, good.
So how many of you are not selling to retailers? Put up your hand.
Really high.
Why not? Why aren't
This is
you?
the question. Why not?
Distribution.
Okay. So today, we're going to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that Amazon sellers are making and what it's costing them. Mistake number 1.
You are being too cheap.
Oh, we're going back. Mistake number 2.
You're not thinking big enough.
And mistake number 3.
You're not focusing on relationships. Very important.
So here's the game plan. Today, we are going to give you a ton of information, and you're going to be thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do with it? But I promise you, every single thing that we give you today you're going to be able to use right here while you're at Global Sources. And we're also going to give you an opportunity, because I'm sure you guys are going to want more after we talk, to come and find us and get to know who we are and stay connected to us.
We really want to thank Megla and the whole Global Sources team for making this event possible, for inviting us here and to share our knowledge with you, so thank you.
And we want to thank you for investing your time. We know a lot of you traveled a long way to be here, as we did, and this is really key and important in your business. So thank you for being here, and as I mentioned, we will make it worth your while, because everything that we're going to teach you're going to be able to use right here at Global Sources. So who are we, and why you should listen to us? So firstly, I'm going to introduce you to my brilliant and very handsome husband, Neil Lordsman.
Now, I've been trying to get her to say that all the time when we're going out for dinner, meeting friends, but it's a little bit tough.
So now I have to do in front of all.
Yeah. So I was born into the private label industry. As soon as I was born, my father slapped the barcode on my behind. I was off to the kids' room, and that was it. Now I'm a GS1 registered baby. I've been in the industry for over 30 years. I grew up and raised in Canada. When I was in university, I decided to make the choice of entering a family-owned business where my father was importing, distributing, and private labeling products. And this was back in the 60s and 70s, and he was distributing right across Canada and parts of the US. I decided to really dive in deep and learn all about the industry and all about private labeling and products and sourcing, and really get into the trenches of the business. And it may not sound so glamorous, but for me, doing business now in over 15 countries, meeting with factories and manufacturers, and really the experiences, and it's two ways. The experiences that I've had over those years, as well as the experience that I've gained doing all that business, you just can't match. I private labeled thousands and thousands of products. I worked with distributors, retailers, and chain stores like Walmart, Hobby Lobby, and Michaels. And now the great thing is, in the era we live in today, with online platforms like Amazon, we too have our own Amazon businesses, very successful, and we love to talk and meet with entrepreneurs, like-minded entrepreneurs like yourself, who are looking to learn the truth, the reality, and the secrets that I've gained for all those years and shared with so many successful chain stores and retailers, and share that with you. What's very important to me in doing business and learning business was having very strong mentors. And for me, the most important mentor, I have mentors in many different countries, but the most important to me was my father. My father, very strong in my life, and for him, he always said, anytime you're doing business in other countries, understand what they're doing. Know about the business, because the business is changing so quickly. As soon as you're ready to make that step, another country or other industries are making 2 steps forward faster than you. So you always have to be prepared. Documents, paperwork, information, always be prepared, because whatever you're doing, someone else is doing it faster than you. And I want to share with you a little story. It was about 17 years ago. I get a call, it was about 7 a.m. in the morning, and it was US Customs and Border Patrol and Homeland Security. And they said, Mr. Borson, we've seized one of your containers. And it was about this time of year, I normally get 5 or 6 containers arriving, and they're coming in from different countries, and they're for the different chain stores and retailers that we're supplying. So I'm pretty familiar with all the commodities that are coming in, and this time I get a call right after that. It's immigration, and immigration wants to talk to me. I'm thinking, immigration, this is pretty serious. Now, when you deal with customs, you can't take it lightly. So called my office, we have our own in-house customs broker, and I said, they've seized a container, what is it? He said, what didn't you tell me? And I said, you know more than a therapist. Anything I do in business, you know what I'm doing. He says, don't worry, I'll meet you at the site, and they have a specific exam site set up. And I remember going over there, and all these official guys with guns, they're all ready, they meet me at my vehicle, they take me through, check all the information, and I had all the documents prepared. The main thing was having all the paperwork, all the documents, and knowing everything that was coming in on my containers. And they said, immigration comes up to me, he says, do you have anything to tell us before we open these containers? And I'm thinking, why? He says, we have a tip that you may be housing fugitives on your container. I'm thinking, fugitives? I said, what's the container number? I have to match it on the manifest. And I look at the manifest. One of the products that I was importing for specific companies, LL Bean, J. Crew, Spielberg Studios, Sony Productions, was life-size mannequins. And we create these mannequins, so when they're packed up, they look like humans crouched up in boxes. And other crates have body parts in them. And so, before they're opening containers, these guys are standing there and they're saying, "Are you sure you don't have anything to tell us?" And these guys are, my heart's pumping. I'm thinking, what else can be there? Maybe some of my staff is going to surprise me saying, "We're here! We came to surprise you from China." I was very nervous, but I had all the paperwork. And the reason why I'm explaining this story is, again, my father, a mentor in my life, said, have everything you know about your products. Know about your product, know what you're importing, and be prepared, and there's nothing to worry about. They open these doors, they open the crates. It's hard to get some of these inspectors and officials to start laughing when they open these crates, but they saw what my business was, and from that time on, many of these inspectors, I have a great relationship today. They come and visit our warehouse, we take them on tours to show our products. What you have to understand is relationships are going to be so important, and the mentors you have in your business will prepare you for the next level in your company and what you do. Enough talking about me. I'd love to introduce my beautiful, extremely smart, sassy, sometimes overbearing, but gorgeous wife, Karen.
You can get away with it because here, wait for a minute, right? So my background is not as colorful as Neil's. I was not born into the private label industry. In fact, I was in the dental industry. I knew nothing about products. I knew nothing about private labeling. Actually, I knew nothing about sales. I knew some things, but I just didn't know anything about that.
She has great teeth.
Yeah. So I didn't know, and a lot of you can probably relate because a lot of you probably weren't born into the industry like Neil was. And as I mentioned, I didn't know any of that, so I had to learn that. As Neil mentioned, we're originally from Canada. We immigrated over to the States, and I was not able to bring my license with me to the States. So I took on the best job in the world, being a full-time mom. Any parents here? Parents here? Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm not talking to no one. I thought, there's got to be parents here. So I took on the best job, full-time mom, and but it doesn't pay very well, does it? It doesn't pay very well. So I said to Neil, with the exchange from the Canadian dollar to the American dollar, we needed to bring in another source of income. And I had a great idea to private label a product. I just had no idea what to do. And at the time, this is about, 15, 16 years ago, it was secretive. No one was sharing the secret sauce to private labeling. But I was married to the guru, and I swore that I would not tell anyone, just show me what to do. And he did exactly that. He walked me through the whole process, and I launched, almost 16 years ago, my very first private label product. And it's awesome, because if I can do it, all I knew were teeth. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And today, our kids, 17-year-old and a 14-year-old, both launched private label businesses and selling on Amazon, and they have funded their entire college. Amazing, right? Well, when they go. We have one going and one soon to be. But it's funded, and that was just by following what we're doing. And that's the key. Anyone can do it. All you need is a process. And that's why we created the Private Label University, a place for like-minded entrepreneurs to come together and learn the process. This 30-plus-year-old system Neil has been using, working with the retailers, same process. We call it the Import Success Formula, and it is exactly that. It's a formula, and we teach it to entrepreneurs around the world.
So is anyone out there in business with their spouse?
See, better be careful, right?
Fantastic. Great. Oh, quite a few. So then there's good times, there's bad times, there's trying times when you can't decide on a product, or you're having difficulty deciding should it be this size, this color, this packaging. But all in all, of course, it's a great thing, and happy wife, happy life. So that's great to see.
So I trained him well, right? Yeah. So you guys ready for some fun? All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about mistake number 1.
Stop being so cheap. We're all victims of wanting to save money with our products. We never see the next step. We're always wanting to save, just sell that product, and not looking where we're losing, and it can nip you in the butt in the end. So this is a great product that I've created. I've sold millions of this product. Problem with the product is the product's great, but the packaging is terrible. It's crap. For me, the packaging was fine. Simple paper box. I've had them in simple poly bags. The problem was cheap packaging. The product sold so well, I never saw the reason to spend any more money with that product. Why? The product's selling. Selling, 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 selling. No one's complaining. Why spend any more money on that packaging for that product? But I wasn't seeing the bigger picture. I was losing opportunities. And for this product, really my cheapness was fogging my ideals of what I could do more sales I could make. And I remember being at a trade show. And I'm going to show you, at a trade show, I missed an opportunity. I had someone come by from a buying team of a very large chain store, and they said they wanted this product. They picked up the product, they looked at it, and they didn't buy the product. So look how cheap I was being on this product. The cost of the product was 40 cents. I was selling about 10,000 pieces per store per month. $4,000 for the cost of that product. I decided to upgrade the packaging. All I spent was 5 cents. That's it, 5 cents on the packaging. So I invested $500 over those 10,000 pieces. That's it, $500. 5 cents is all I had to spend. And with that, I was able to better the packaging, create more sales, and get it into more hands in the retail stores. So 3 months after, this is what happened. I have all the resources. I went back to some factories I know in China. I upgraded the packaging. I invested that 5 cents for that packaging. And I went back. It was actually for Michaels. And I called Michaels. I knew the buying team there. And I said, listen, I've upgraded the packaging. Let me send you the samples. Let me send you the images. And they went, great, we'll take it. Just like that. We'll take it. So that 5 cents made me $28,000 in one order. One order. And it wasn't an expense. Too many people think that, why should I invest that extra money? It's an expense. It's an investment. And it's an investment to build more sales. So don't be cheap. Spend that 5 cents and invest in your product. Can you see how investing in any product in the right packaging is going to increase your profits? Can everyone see? All you have to do is simple investments. Poly bags, paper boxes, they're outdated. There's other opportunities to sell your product into many other places. So mistake number 2 that we're making is that you're not thinking big enough.
We're not making.
We're not making.
You said we, but we're not making it. So what does that mean? What does that mean you're not thinking big enough? So I want you to think back to when you first started your business. And I know some of you are just starting a business, but there's a lot of you who also have started a business. I want you to think back. You were all told or all thought that, it's about just find a product, find a supplier, get it up on Amazon, and you can sit back, you can automate it, sit back, have a pina colada, you'll be making millions tomorrow, right? Did you ever hearing that? It's not that simple. There's a lot more than just getting a product and slapping it up on Amazon. So again, a lot of people are under the impression that you can just find a product and find a supplier and slap it on. So I want you to remember Stacy. Remember Stacy? She was making an extra $72,000 a month more. And in order for you to do that, you need to change your mindset. You need to change the way you're doing business. You need to make sure that you're thinking bigger than just Amazon. Amazon is awesome. It's a great way to start, and it's a great stepping stone to bigger. So I want you to meet Kim. Kim's one of our one-on-one clients, and she is awesome. When she started selling on Amazon, she was so frustrated because in her first month of selling, she sold one item. She sold one item in the first month. By month 3, she had only sold 100 items. So she was frustrated. She was ready to quit. Has anyone ever felt that when you first started, that you were only selling just a few at a time? Yeah? So she was just selling a few. So she joined our one-on-one coaching, as you can see, and we did a whole analysis of her business. We made some tweaks, and she started seeing sales coming in. and she was making, you know, up to 1,000 items sold. So she was doing pretty awesome. She was so excited that she wanted to put everything back into Amazon. I'm going to do more pay-per-click. I'm going to do more advertising. I'm just going to flood all my stuff on Amazon and just focus on Amazon. And what we did with her was kind of had her step back a bit. And I'm going to show you that in a second here. I'm going to stop for a second in the story, and then we're going to jump right back in. So I want to ask you, what if Amazon decided to close? What if Amazon said, you can't sell on Amazon anymore? Would that affect your business? Would it affect your business? Yeah.
People be upset? Would you think, wow, it's all over now?
Yeah, it would affect a lot of people's business. So it's not about what you can do on Amazon. It's about what you can do within your business. It's about thinking beyond. It's about thinking bigger. And that's what this is about. It's not just about Amazon. It's about creating a business. And a lot of people are not understanding that or losing that. It's just so much of get a product, get it up on Amazon, and not concentrating on building a business. Because like I said, if Amazon were to close, what would happen? It would affect your business, right? So it's not just about selling on Amazon. When you're just selling on Amazon, you're giving Amazon total control of your business, whether or not it's going to succeed or not succeed. You're not casting a wider net. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. So this is Kim 12 months later. We did some coaching with her, and she now sees a bigger vision. She's selling still on Amazon, thousands of products on Amazon. She hasn't given that up, but she looked beyond, and she took some other approaches, and now she's actually selling in 2 major chain stores. She's seeing that bigger picture. So the number one mistake that people are making is that they're not thinking bigger. Like I said, Amazon is a great place to start and to continue, but you need to cast that wider net because there's always bigger. There's always bigger. So it doesn't matter where you are in your business. If you're just starting, if you're making $100,000 a month, $200,000, $1 million a month, it doesn't matter. There's always bigger. So raise your hand if you can imagine your success if you embraced a bigger vision, right? If you embraced a bigger vision, wouldn't you want more, right? And that's what it's about. A lot of people don't do that. Which takes us into mistake number 3.
That you're not focusing enough on relationships. And a lot of people don't think of the word relationship the way they should in business. Relationships with your customers, with your shippers, with customs, with inspection agents. Everyone that you do business with and you start that relationship can set you in that next level. Will definitely elevate you into another level of business. And it's understanding that relationship that's so important. It sounds so simple, but a lot of people just disregard it. And you're all here. You've invested. You're different from everyone else because you've invested your time to be here at Global Sources to build those relationships. Sitting here, when you're networking, when you're having lunch, you're starting to build relationships. You're meeting new people in the industry, whether it be a supplier, whether it be a shipping company. Anyone who's involved can really enhance your business. You know, you have to, again, remember that you set yourself apart. There's tons of people sitting back. They're trolling on the internet. They're surfing. They're trying to source online, never knowing who's on the other side, not building any relationship. It could be a trading company. It could be a factory. It could be just an agent who's there talking to you. But really, as a relationship, you're not face-to-face. And coming here again at this event is so important because when you're walking around and meeting with suppliers and people in the industry, that's going to set you apart to make your business definitely more successful than anyone else's. And I want to share a story with you about a relationship that I've had for over 30 years. And it started back in 1990. I was on my standard routine of going to China and going to the Canton Fair. And this is back when it was in the old Luhua complex near the Dongfang Hotel. And back then, it was all scattered, different buildings. And it was at phase 1, which was construction and tool supplies, a very large, very complicated part of the show. And I was there set to go. Some companies hired me to go down and find specific products for them. And I remember going to one of the booths, And it was lunchtime. At lunchtime at the shows, everyone's very busy. They want to concentrate on just kind of replenishing their energy for the rest of the day. And those days, the show was very, very long. They'd have it for 3 weeks in total. So some of the vendors were there for 3 weeks. And I walk into a booth and everyone's sitting there and I said, "Ni show Ingwen ma? You speak in English?" They ignored me. They were too busy. Who's the foreigner here bothering us during lunchtime? Chingwen, please, can I ask something? Again, ignoring me. A gentleman in the hallway noticed that I was standing there. He says, "Are you having some difficulty?" I said, "Well, this trading company isn't answering what I need." I said, "I see the product right there. I'm holding it." He said, "Don't worry." He said, "How do you know it's a trading company?" I said, "I know these factories." I said, "This isn't a factory." He said, "Well, let me take you to my booth. Maybe I can help you." We sat down, and he happened to be an engineer for a very large state-owned company. And this state-owned company, he was one of the engineers who focused on the raw materials and the packaging. And he said, "You know, I may be able to help you. I have something similar to that. My cost is going to be more expensive than them, but my MOQs are very small. We're a state-run company. We want the business. We want to export products. What can I do for you?" I was there for the next 2 weeks. We'd spend every evening having dinner, talking about Canada, talking about politics, talking about different products, talking about our families, and starting that relationship back then. And I've been a mentor to him. I've introduced him to many companies in North America, as well as he's been a mentor to me, introducing me to so many factories in China, as well as places that some foreigners never even get to in China, and the way to do business in China. He's one of my mentors that I've built up over the years, and one of my close friends that I've had for such a long time doing business in China. And it's a good part of my life because I've seen his kids grow up, and he's joined me in my kids growing up as well. And the key is that the relationship that I've gained from him helped me succeed more in business and doing business in Asia. And it was just by chance. I was at a trade show. I was walking around, just like you're going to walk around downstairs. You're going to be meeting people. He helped me. He saw a need, and he saw an opportunity for him in business. And I joined that opportunity. And for me, it's been extremely, I can't even say the words. It's just such an honor knowing him. And when you're walking around the show, you really have to be present and aware. As I said earlier, you're going to be meeting all kinds of people, all kinds of, whether it be suppliers, designers, factory owners, representatives, agents. Take it seriously when you hand over your business card, when you shake hands, the opportunity that they could offer you for the future. You know, we're not just here, we're all investing in our companies to make it long-term, to make it very successful. And it's these relationships that will make your company more successful. And, you know, I love to use this kind of a rhyme, but for Mr. Zhu, he's been such an important part of my life. And I always hope that when people are walking around trade shows, especially even global sources, I always like to say that I hope there's a Mr. Zhu, like there was for me, waiting for you. So can you all see the importance of relationships in business? You should never disregard the people that you meet in any country in business that you're looking to build your business with. People see the importance? Very, very important, especially, again, being here at Global Sources event. So today you've learned the 3 biggest mistakes that Amazon sellers are making every day.
So let's not let them affect your business. So everyone can kind of stand up.
Stretch your legs.
Stand up. Everyone stand up.
Finish lunch. You don't want to get too tired. Stretch your legs.
Okay, feel good. Stand up. There you go. Stretch it out.
your legs.
All right. This is a mantra that you guys need to carry around with you, okay? So I want you to repeat after me. I have a bigger vision and I want more.
I have a bigger vision and I want more.
I will invest in my products and not be cheap like me.
I want to invest in my products and not be cheated.
I like that part. I inherit global sources to build relationships for success.
I inherit global sources to build relationships for success.
Amazing. You can sit down. Just remember this when you're walking around. So important. So as I promised, I'd show you how you can stay connected to us. on your tables, you'll see a piece of paper that looks like this, kind of a bigger version of it, but all you need to do is fill out your name, your email, and answer some of those questions. We're going to be hanging around. Just find us, come and say hi to us, drop off the forms. We'd love to get to know you and your business a little bit better and see how we can, help you grow. So remember, the number one thing is not just relationships, not just being cheap. You need to remember to think bigger, because there's always bigger. Thanks.
Thank you.
Questions for the 45 years of combined experience on stage?
Makes us sound so old, right?
It was combined.
Well, it still makes us sound old.
Questions, comments, anything?
We don't bite.
You made a comment. You made a comment about packaging.
Yes.
So I'm just curious, what do you think the future of packaging looks like?
I guess it's two ways. The future of packaging, of course, in the retail industry is still has to have a strong presence. You can take a simple item, just like I had my little simple mannequin, upgraded the packaging, and sales were like that. Most retailers want to stand out from the industry. They don't want to look at the simplest item. They want it, they're going to put on an end cap, they're going to feature that product. Even if it's in a magazine or in a catalog company, they want it to look better than everyone else's. It could be the exact same item that's featured on Amazon or eBay anyplace. But as soon as it's put in that extra special packaging, which may only cost 5 cents, now you have a sale. And there's a lot of companies that will look for that to be different from everyone else.
Yeah, I'm asking you to be a little more specific. You said paper and,
Paper box and poly bags.
yeah. So what do you think? What are you looking towards with your products, for instance?
Our products are going to be retail ready. So it's going to be in, for example, a plastic box, a PP box, PE box, something that's ready to hang, ready for the shelves, ready for paperwork, ready for planogram.
And I think also the idea is, a lot of people who are just starting on Amazon or getting ready on Amazon, it's all the poly bag and simple packaging. The thing is, what everyone needs to remember, or maybe a lot of people don't know, is that, we work with a lot of buyers, a lot with retailers. They're actually patrolling Amazon. They're looking for brands. And you need to be ready, because if you're not ready and your packaging's not ready, they're going off to the next person, your competitor. So you need to be ready. It's not just about the poly bag. They're looking there too.
And like Karen said, there are buying groups who work for the big retailers and big catalog companies that are trolling on Amazon. They want to know what sells. They want your customers. And if they can't acquire your customers, they want your product. So how better if you're able to offer that product to a retailer, to a chain store, to a catalog company. If your product is ready to go, if it's shelf ready, the packaging is there, they're saying, well, it's selling so well on Amazon, we want that product too. If they're going to sell it, people are going to come in here. If they're coming into our stores, they're going to buy that product. So you have to think past just the simple poly bag, the paper box. There's always stores, and there's always going to be the retail stores that are looking for products.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. How do you reach out to and get in contact with these retail stores or brick and mortar stores as a simple Amazon seller?
Well, honestly, the simplest way a lot of times people think, oh, I got to go through buying groups and it's so complicated and Walmart and forms and signing contracts. Call them. Call them and saying, who's your buyer for this category? Can I have their email? A lot of times they'll give you the email. Are they going to answer it right away? Maybe not. It's the follow-up. You have to follow up. Did you get my email? Once they give you an email, they get to those emails. If you explain, I have a unique product that's not offered in your stores. And again, it's the terminology you're going to use. And that's what we go through so many of our clients. We explain to them. It's difficult and it's not difficult. There is kind of that coat of arms that you have to follow for them because you don't want to pester them. Otherwise, you're saying, they keep bothering me. But they're looking for products. That's what they do. So it's a matter of just send them an email, send them a letter, show them who you are. If you have something unique, if it happens to be in a category where they're flooded with it, what makes yours different?
So it's basically classic cold calling or cold emailing.
Trade
Yes.
shows too,
Trade
trade shows,
shows.
going
Trade
and
shows.
presenting at trade shows. I mean,
So
Kim,
like,
that you
I
saw,
would present my product on a trade show
Yes.
or somewhere?
And you don't
So
have to be,
Kim-
yeah,
Kim, that I showed you earlier and introduced you to, she actually did, we kind of prepped her and trained her, and she did some trade shows. And she's in Bed Bath & Beyond now, she's in some pretty big retailers, and that was from trade shows, and following up. And the great thing is, when you're selling on Amazon and you start building that business, years ago, you couldn't go into a group or meet a buying group with your product if you had no sales or you didn't have anything behind you. The great thing now with Amazon is you're building your business. It's a great stepping stone to have those numbers, to go in and show them, hey, look at my sales. This is what I'm showing on Amazon. And taking that approach. I mean, you couldn't have that opportunity. You didn't have that opportunity years ago. So going in with that as well. But trade shows are really a really great way to get your product out. You'll know, depending on the category and what trade show, you'll know what buyers attend those trade shows, and then you're in front of them.
and it's a key way to prep your product, to understand your product. So when you're gonna present it, rather than just posting it on Amazon, you're in front of these people, again, building a relationship. They may just walk by and look at it and disregard it. Ask them questions. Anytime I do shows, someone walks by my booth and they're just going slowly, oh, which product are you interested in? Or which product caught your attention? Well, I like that, or I like that packaging, or I liked that product, I like the color, I've never seen it in that color. That, again, that kind of propels them to ask more and the opportunity for you.
Buyers are on LinkedIn now too.
LinkedIn, yeah.
Next question. Hi there. Do you think it's possible to sell a private label product to a big retailer? Do you think they're typically trying to get direct from the source with factories?
We do it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it depends who they are. Depends who they are. We've had our products knocked off many times, and some of the big stores have private labeled them. And it depends what the product is, and is it uniquely private labeled? As in, is it patent? Is it yours?
You have to be prepared with that
Depends who they
information. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been my experience with some of the bigger retailers. If you don't actually own the manufacturing source in China, typically it's hard to get them to even get an application form through.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and I think it depends on who it is you're working with, what retailer. And a lot of the big ones do. They do have, they're doing their
doing their
manufacturing
homework, yeah.
here. Yeah. We're good?
Any more questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
because you're putting so much emphasis on packaging, I think it's good. My question is, would you go as far as to test for the same product from the same SKU to test two different packaging? It's like maybe a white box and a black box, put them both on.
Always.
Great idea.
Yeah, great idea, always, because again, people are looking for something different in that category possibly, especially in the retailers.
And you'll find that in different markets too. We do that with retailers. They'll have a total different packaging depending on what the retailer is.
If I'm
as
selling to
well.
stores in New York City, it's gonna be different for California. If I'm selling it in Florida, it's different than in Mexico or in Canada. People in South Korea want one type
So
of
you can
packaging.
confirm that for a lot of generic products that are the same for different brands, those are actually sold, so the sales are driven actually by the packaging.
Correct.
By the design and the brand.
Many times, yes.
Have you ever had the experience that because the packaging was a different color, that you all of a sudden you have 10, 20, 30 cents more sales?
Even product, you can change the way the product looks by just changing the color. And
Well,
then
yeah, that angle, but I'm just saying just the packaging.
Yeah, absolutely. It depends who the market is, right? And each store markets maybe a different type of client, right? Certain areas, even in the US, we see our sales fluctuating depending on where in the US the product's selling. So, and absolutely, packaging, unfortunately, it's not just about the product, it's a lot of the marketing too. So it's how you're gonna market it, and packaging is a big part of it.
Because in my e-com groups, I put it out there, I was like, hey guys, color matters. And like some people say, hey, spending $160 on extra 2,000 pieces of packaging, that's within colors, that's a waste of money. And in my mind, I was like, hey, this is something I have to test out because the girls like the white packaging, the guys like black one. I can't really decide. I have to have both.
Look at the difference with, with the story that Neil told. I mean, he was just adamant about, it sells, I don't need to change anything, it's good, it's good. And finally, when he changed, I mean, he just didn't see the bigger picture. And sure enough, when Michael saw that, that was it. It was just, the investment was well worth it. So you have to test it, but packaging really does make a difference.
And from that's one product, I had many other products similar to that. So I just re-looked at all those other products and said, how can I increase sales? And all of a sudden, as we did some simple change in some of the other packaging, sales tripled.
And we do that with products too, colors. Certain exclusive colors are for certain stores, and no one else can get them. And that really enhances the value of it as well.
Is there any safe way to test what color of a product would sell better than different color before you actually put it out there?
Social marketing.
Yeah,
Social media.
testing and just physically putting it out, you can do, go onto Facebook and create a campaign and just kind of get feedback from people in your audience and who you sell to. I mean, that's kind of a lot of the marketing stuff. Not something we get into really here, but, and just, I mean, even Google, and just kind of see what the trends are, what people are looking for. I mean, in our industry, we kind of know and we kind of see, and we'll test a little thing here and there in the stores and see, but.
And basing it on seasons too.
Yeah,
You have different
seasons.
seasons, more colors sell better than others.
Mhm.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Next question.
Oh, wait, we must do that.
Do you have any experience with retailers in Europe?
W.H. Smith, that was the only one. We used to sell to them different stationery products. I've worked with, in Germany, Herlitz, again, more in the stationery brands. They're pretty conservative. A lot of times we come up with a lot of unique products.
Most of our folk is US and Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was a question right back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From your experience, what's the minimum quantity Walmart or other chains are looking for? And what is their return policy if they don't sell your 5, 10, or 100,000 products?
Great question.
Depends on the relationship. Really it does.
Sorry, what's the question?
Sorry, can you repeat your question? Yeah, sorry, so they can hear.
So what is the minimum number of items like Walmart is wanting to buy, like 10,000, 50,000? What is their return policy if they're not going to sell it?
So the return policy for the chain stores, if they're not going to sell it, if there's a product, minimums. What it's kind of turned into these days, they're in transition. A lot of the chain stores look at planograms, so they look at real estate, how much space you're going to take up so they can generate those sales. If you only have 1 or 2 items that are just kind of standardized items, they're not very interested. If you have 20 items where they know they can save an extra $100,000, $200,000 a month, they're going to see that's money they're losing, or at least money they can gain on your product. But you have to be very resourceful to know that, again, many of the companies, when it comes to a generic product, they know what it's costing. They know what it costs in China. Again, if you have better packaging, if you have better presentation, and they know it's going to outsell the basic product that's beside it, you can walk into Walmart, you can walk into Toys R Us, and you'll see much of the same for the same category. Packaging makes a difference, presentation, explanation.
And brand.
And
I
brand.
mean, they can go and buy, the big retailers, as we've heard already, can go and knock off your item and private label it. But it's about the brand. Businesses now are not buying products the same way, or buying businesses. They're buying that brand. So if you have a strong brand and the brand is really strong on Amazon, they're going to want to, they want your customers. So they're following that brand. They're going to want to bring them in. So as far as the returns?
Yeah, the returns, again, it's based on relationship. It depends on sales. You can get caught into some terrible positions where they say, if it's not selling, this is either the rebate you're going to provide to us, or we're going to return it all at the end of this quarter. So you have to be very careful. A lot of people get very, they're all excited, I'm going to get into Bed Bath & Beyond or Toys R Us. But again, those details of return policies are very important.
And you have to keep in mind, it's not just about Walmart and Target. There are so many retail chain stores or retailers that are smaller that want your products. And their MOPs are smaller too.
Anything else?
We're good?
No? Okay, I guess not for now.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Again. So, okay, we will, moving on to our next speakers. We have to, our lapel mics with a, to tag team